greetings from the University of Debrecen. In this short presentation, I will inform you about the most important details of the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship and will explain you how to apply for this program. In the meantime, if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat panel and my colleagues will answer you. At the University of Debrecen in Hungary, there are thousands of students from all over the world already studying with this scholarship on different study levels. You can also be one of these students. Let's see the scholarship benefits. It covers your full tuition fee throughout the entire program. Students receive a monthly pocket money as a contribution to their living expenses. We may provide free dormitory placement, or you will receive some additional rent support. The scholarship also includes full medical insurance during your studies. The application and the admission process is completely free. There are no application or exam fees. However, it is important to emphasize that the monthly stipend will not cover your living expenses and you will have to add your own budget for certain costs, such as travel tickets, books or private accommodation. Before you start your application, it is useful to get familiar with certain organizations and websites that you will often hear about during the process. First, I will show you who is who in this scholarship. The most important person is you, the applicant, who wants to study with this scholarship. Please note that you must be at least 18 years old by the end of August 2024 to be eligible to apply. The sending partner is an organization in your passport country. The sending partner nominates the students as the first selection step. The University of Debrecen is the place where you will study. We organize the entrance exams. And Tempus Public Foundation is an organization in Hungary that coordinates the application process and awards the scholarship. Let's see more about your country's sending partner. Again, we always mean your passport country, and it might be different from the country you live in. The sending partner can be your Ministry of Education or a similar institution. Students from many different countries are eligible to apply, and the list of available study fields and programs are different for each country. Therefore, as the very first step, you must check what study fields are supported for your country. Your sending partner will do the first selection step, the nomination. It means they will pre-select the applicants. There can be additional country-specific conditions of nomination, such as age limit, language requirements, certain tests, etc. Therefore, please make sure you contact your sending partner and learn about these conditions. I will show you later where you can find their contact information. Now about the websites. We recommend 3 websites to look up and bookmark in your browser. The first one is the University of Debrecen. The second one is the official website of the scholarship. And the third is the online application website. I will show them one by one. The website of the University of Debrecen. In this website, you can learn everything about the study programs you are interested in. You can check the entry requirements, you can watch videos to see the university campus, its buildings, facilities, student life, and you can even chat with fellow students. However, you will not submit the scholarship application directly to the university because it must be submitted to a scholarship application website. So scholarship applicants can use the university website mainly for finding information. Please note that under each university program description, you will find tuition fee and application fee indicated, but these are not relevant for scholarship applicants, only for self-financed students, so you can ignore these fees. And don't forget, scholarship applications cannot be submitted here, but you must use the designated application website that I will show you soon. This is the official information website of the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship. This is the opening page of the website. I want to highlight two menu points in the top of the screen that are really useful. One of them is the Apply section that will lead you to important documents, for example, the call for application. The call describes all details about the program and the application, including documents you need to submit and the deadlines. The other important section here is Partners. This is where you can select your country and check the supported study fields. And you will also find the contact data of your country's sending partner here. And finally, the application website itself. When you gathered all information and you are ready to submit your application, please visit this website. The application is online. You don't need to send anything by post, and you don't have to submit an application or send any documents directly to our university. First, you have to choose your country and create an account using your email address. It is extremely important to register with a valid email that you regularly check and have access to for at least 1 more year. Also very important to use your full name, exactly as it is shown in your passport or in your birth certificate. You have to find and select the University of Debrecen and apply for the chosen program or programs. You may also select a second program, but make sure you keep the order of your preference, as you cannot change it after submitting your application. Also make sure that the 2 programs are on the same study level. Then you have to upload certain documents and submit the application by the 15th of January 2024. Please note that you have to actively press the Submit button, and saving the page is not sufficient. Now about the documents. You have to scan and upload a few basic documents before submitting your application. All documents must be submitted in English or with English translation and the original. The motivation letter is a maximum 1-page document in which you introduce yourself and tell us about your background, motivation, and future plans. Your school reports or transcript of your current or latest school or university. The report must be an official document issued by your school that shows all subjects you studied with the end of the year or end of term results. You have to submit your highest school certificate. It can be your high school diploma or university degree certificate. If you are still in your final year, only then you can upload a declaration instead, stating that you will upload the graduation certificate by the 1st of August. A language exam certificate is also needed to prove your level of English. Please upload your passport. If you don't have one, then your national ID is fine, but by the 1st of August you will need to upload your passport. Don't miss out anything so that your application is formally correct. As mentioned earlier, some documents can be uploaded after the application deadline, but only if you cannot possibly obtain them until the 15th of January. These are your school certificate if you are in your final year of studies, your language exam certificate if you will take or receive the exam result later, and your passport if you do not have one yet. In case one or more of these documents are missing, you must submit a declaration instead, stating that you will upload them by the 1st of August the latest. A medical certificate will also be compulsory for all, but only to be submitted at a later stage in April. There are further documents only for PhD applicants, such as a research plan and a supervisor statement. In case of missing documents, you have a declaration instead. The declaration is a simple document. You can use your own words, but here I show you an example. In case you submit a declaration instead of one or more documents, you must submit the actual document your diploma, language exam or passport by the 1st of August 2024, the latest. The motivation letter and the school reports and some kind of an ID cannot be missing. A declaration will not be accepted instead of these documents. Let's see what happens after you submit your application. Submitted applications will go through a 3-step selection procedure. After each step, only selected applications will proceed to the next step. The first one is the sending partner nomination. During this step, your country will pre-select the applications by their own procedure. The university is not involved in this step, so please make sure you find out from your sending partner what you need to do for getting nominated. The university will only proceed with the nominated applications. The next 2 steps are conducted by the university. The formal check is to see whether you uploaded all necessary documents, and we can only consider complete, formally correct applications. At this point, I would like to highlight that in case of the medicine program, due to its extreme popularity and limited number of available places, we can only consider first-place applications. The entrance exam is also an important selection step. First, your submitted school documents are checked, and then the university will contact you by email to inform you about the date and format of the entrance exam or interview. Please make sure you regularly check your emails, including your spam box. The scholarship exams will take place approximately between mid-March and mid-May. However, it is very important that you start preparing for your exams in time, especially in case of those programs where there is a subject exam. Do not wait until you receive our email about the exam date, as it will only be sent 1 or 2 weeks before the exam. Make sure you check the exam requirements well in advance. The last selection step is the award decision. Tempus Public Foundation in Hungary is responsible for the awarding, and you can expect this decision by the end of June 2024. If you are awarded, then the University of Debrecen will contact you by email to send all necessary information about how to start your studies. You may wonder how you can increase your chances to win the scholarship. To actually win, you need to successfully go through all 3 selection steps. To get nominated, it is important that you learn about your sending partner's conditions. A formally correct application is also vital, so make sure you do not miss to submit any compulsory document, or in justified cases, you upload a declaration instead. Get accepted at the entrance exam. To accomplish that, you have to prepare well. Check the requirements and the sample tests. Also make sure you choose the University of Debrecen in the first place. Let's see the timeline quickly. You must prepare and submit your application by the 15th of January 2024, 2 p.m. Central European Time. This is a very strict deadline, please keep it in mind. The country nomination will be done by end February, and the university exams will take place between March and May. The final decision can be expected by end June, and students have to arrive in Hungary to start their studies by September 2024, the latest. Again, do not miss the application deadline, the 15th of January 2024. No applications can be submitted after this deadline. If you have any questions, please visit our website or send us an email. We wish you good luck, and we do hope to see you in Debrecen in the next academic year. Thank you for your attention.
What is the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship exactly?
The Stipendium Hungaricum is a scholarship program for international students. Over 80 countries are participating in it. It's based on agreements between Hungary and these other countries. And for students, it provides tuition-free education, medical insurance, and some pocket money as well.
And who's eligible for this scholarship? How to know whether a certain student from a certain country can apply?
There's a specific website of the scholarship called stipendiumhungaricum.hu, and there you can pick the different countries, and it will show the partners in a red column, and you can contact the sending partners by email. They have websites, they have phone numbers.
What are the sending partners for? Who are they?
So this scholarship is based on agreements between Hungary and these countries, and the first selection point of this full scholarship is the sending partners nomination. So when you contact these sending partners, you ask them to recommend you, to nominate you for this scholarship. This is the very first step of this whole process. Only after this you can proceed to the university's admission procedure. So it's really important that you contact the sending partners. For different countries, it can be a different authority. It can be the Ministry of Education. So make sure you check this website and contact the sending partner.
And what does the student do if the sending partner doesn't reply to their email right away? Should they still apply for the scholarship, or?
Yes, they definitely should still apply, because it can happen that the sending partner will contact them later, only after they submit their application, or it's possible that they will be contacted based on their submitted application. So they should definitely submit their application even if they don't receive a response, and they should keep trying to contact the sending partners. If they are really not responsive, Tempus Foundation is the Hungarian authority responsible for this whole scholarship program, and maybe they can help if the partners are non-responsive.
And what is the country nomination based on? So what does the sending partner do? How do they choose a student who they would nominate for the scholarship?
When you submit your application, there are certain compulsory documents to upload that's necessary for everybody. There's a call for application which details the base requirement of the application, but these sending partners might have other criteria. There are sending partners who nominate students based on their English proficiency. There are sending partners who do their own entrance exam. We do not know this specifically for each of the over 80 partners that we work with, so it's your job to contact them and ask what other requirement they have in connection with the application and for the nomination process.
So basically, the sending partners can do their own exam or their own test for the students to be nominated, or they can request documents, certain documents that are not really in the criteria for the scholarship as per the university, like a certain type of language certificate or a certain type of test.
Definitely, they have the right to do their own selection criteria, the same way universities have their own selection criteria. And this is the first step of the application. Without nomination, you cannot win the scholarship. So it's really important that you check these requirements.
So there's no chance at all. If you don't get nominated, you cannot proceed further?
No, you're out of the process. So that's the first really important step of the application.
And what would be the second step, the second selection step?
The second selection step is the institutional admission procedure. For any program that you apply to, there's definitely an entrance interview. And for our university's bachelor and one-tier master programs, there's an entrance exam as well. This exam is online, and on the university's website, you can track for which program, which field you need to study for, basically.
Okay, so you choose a program, let's say, I don't know, business at the University of Debrecen. You're nominated. You've submitted your application on the application website for the scholarship. Then you're contacted by the university, and then you have to take an entrance exam?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and then you would have an entrance exam, which would be what for business, for example?
For business, it would be a written exam in math and English, and then you would be contacted online for an entrance interview with one of the professors of the faculty.
Okay, and how can you prepare for the entrance exam? What should you do?
On the university website, there are a lot of sample tests, exam topics you can prepare from. There are book recommendations, but you don't need to worry about it because it's like a high school level. Everything's high school level math, high school level biology.
I see. So each program would have a different criteria or a different entrance exam.
That's
like
correct.
For business, it would be maths, and then for medicine, I guess it would be biology, chemistry, or physics. So according to these requirements, you would need to prepare for a test. You write a test, then you have an entrance interview, and then what happens after all of this is done and you pass the entrance exam?
After the entrance exam, you receive a response from the university. If it's a positive response, that's great. At that point, you only need to wait. And wait for this whole process is organized by Tempus Public Foundation. This is the Hungarian authority responsible for this scholarship program, and they make the final decision about the scholarship allocation, it's called. So once you are done with the entrance exam, received your acceptable status, they are going to reference there's an order for the students, basically a ranking. You receive points for this entrance exam. You receive points from the sending partner as well, and there are country quotas, institutional quotas, and based on that, they give out the scholarship for students.
So when does that happen? When does the student for sure know whether they got the scholarship or not?
They usually know the latest by July.
So like for this intake, it would be July 2024. So by
That's
then they
correct.
know the final decision. And what happens after that? What do they do?
There's one extra step we didn't mention. Between the country nomination
Yeah.
and before the entrance exam, the universities do a so-called formal evaluation of the applications. So we check if the students uploaded all of the necessary documents that are required for the scholarship, and it could happen that something is missing at the time of application. For example, the student doesn't have a passport yet, they don't have their high school or bachelor degree yet, final year students can apply, and these missing documents can be uploaded later. So students can receive a positive result from the university and win the scholarship even if they are missing a certain document.
But then what happens to the missing document? I guess they have to present the document after a while, right?
Yes, there's a deadline for that as well. Students need to upload the missing document by the 1st of August 2024. This is a final deadline. So after that, we cannot accept any more documents, and we can only accept missing documents if the student uploads a declaration for this.
But the declaration has to be uploaded by the actual application deadline, which
Yes,
is the
that's correct.
15th of January, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So if you don't have a certain document, like you don't have your passport yet, you've applied for one, but it hasn't arrived, so you don't have your passport. Instead of the passport, you would upload a declaration for this missing document, saying that you will upload it until the document's deadline, which is the 1st of August, right?
Yes.
And then by the 1st of August, you can upload the actual document once it arrives.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's
Okay.
the correct procedure,
And
yes.
which documents can be replaced with a declaration for the time being? Because I'm guessing
Passport.
you need to upload some actual documents and some
Yes.
can be missing.
Missing documents can be the passports that we mentioned, the high school leaving certificate or bachelor or master degree, depending on the level that you're applying for, and the English proficiency certificate in case you are still about to do the English exam. What cannot be missing is like a transcript of records, some call it grades transcript or scores results. So
I heard that in certain countries, it was just a week ago that one of the students mentioned this, and I asked, what is that? They call it a hope certificate in certain countries. And I was like, what is a hope certificate? And they're like, well, my predicted grades, because I'm still not finished with high school. And I'm like, do you actually call it a hope certificate? Turns out they do. So basically, the hope certificate cannot be missing, right?
Yes, that's correct. In case you are a high school student, you need to upload, if you are in your final year, your grade 10 and 11 grades with a declaration that you didn't finish high school yet, and that becomes a formally correct application.
Mentioning students who are still not finished with high school, I guess some of them are not 18 yet. Is there an age limit for the scholarship?
Yes, definitely. Students need to turn 18 by 31st of August 2024 in order to be eligible for the application.
So basically they don't have to be 18 at the moment, but by the time they start, or just before they start their program in September, they have to turn 18. That's the latest.
That's correct, yes.
I see. So if somebody finishes high school early, when they're still 17 and they won't turn 18 until, I don't know, December, then they have to wait a year to apply for the scholarship, right?
Yes, but the good news is current students of the university have the chance to apply for the scholarship as well. They have some extra requirements. They need to have good grades at the university, and they need to upload a special document that the university recommends them for the scholarship by 15th of March. So that's even possible. If they are 17, they can join certain foundation programs at the university.
Okay, so they would start with a foundation program.
Yes,
we have multiple foundation programs,
yes,
such as the BMC for medical students, and then we have the International Foundation year, right, for non-medical students. So they might enroll in one of these foundation programs for the time being, and once they are already here in their foundation program, they can start their application for the scholarship and see if it works out. What if somebody wants to make sure that if they don't get the scholarship, they can still come and study at the University of Debrecen? Should they apply both on the university website and the scholarship application website, or?
That's one way to do it. For certain programs, that's like a really good idea to submit an application to both of these platforms, because there's a limited number of seats. For example, for our medicine program, it's a good idea to apply to the scholarship and to the university directly because of the limited seats. But also the scholarship website has a question when you submit your application that if you don't win the scholarship, would you like to join as a fee-paying student? And if you mention that yes, you are interested in that option, the university will contact you directly if you fail the nomination process, for example.
Oh, I see. And how many programs can a student choose within one application, just to make sure that they get one program or the other, or just raise their chances a bit?
Students can choose up to 2 programs, and they need to make sure that when they choose these programs, it reflects their priority. So the first one should be the one that they are really interested in, and that's their dream program. And the second one should be like a safety net in case something...
Backup.
Like a backup program. And we have certain programs for which we only consider students of the first priority, such as the medicine program. So in case you choose our university's medicine program as a second priority application, we will not be able to consider your application for that.
And what will be the language of your program? Like, will the students study in English or in Hungarian?
All of our students study in English, with the exception of our French studies program, that's in French.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But students are required with the scholarship to study basic Hungarian during their first year of studies. This basic Hungarian is not too hard, it's useful for their stay in Hungary, and it's fully free of charge for students. So it's like integrated in their curriculum that they learn some basic Hungarian. It helps their stay in Hungary a lot easier if they know some basic words in the local language.
Of course.
But the programs themselves are fully in English.
So all of their exams, their textbooks, lectures, everything will be in English?
Everything, yes.
Okay, the next question would be, what is considered a high school diploma? Because, we have students from more than 130 countries. Obviously, some of the school systems there provide different documents, and they last longer than they do in Hungary, or shorter in some cases. So what would be a high school diploma that would be accepted, no matter where you come from?
The general thing that we say is that we require finished 12 years of education. So if in your curriculum you're doing your like final exam or school leaving exam in the 13th year, then that would be considered your like high school leaving certificate. But the general rule is that we require finished 12 years of education. Students need to be 18 anyway to join the university, so with the scholarship.
Yeah, and as a rule of thumb, usually we tell students, if we are not really familiar with their education system, that they should have something like A levels or the equivalent of A levels. So if your high school diploma provides that, no matter where you come from, an equivalent of the A levels, then that would be considered a good document for us. Do the students need a specific type of language exam as well? Like some of the students, sometimes they go to international schools where the medium of instruction would be English. Do they still need a specific type of language certificate, or?
For the university, no. We accept the medium of instruction certificate. Before COVID, we required specifically like international language certificates, but we realized that it's not accessible for everyone, especially then it was not possible to do at certain countries. So since then, it's possible to upload any kind of language exam, which is a proctored exam, which means that if you're doing a self-test online, that's for you, so that you see your level of English. We cannot accept that. But if you're doing a proctored test, which is like checked by somebody, or you need to talk to somebody, or you receive feedback from a person, then we can accept it. And we do accept the medium of instruction certificate as well, but it's a good thing to note that sending partners might have criteria for certain type of international language exams.
I see. So sometimes the university would, like we would be okay with the certificate that they got from their school saying that they studied in English, but then the country where they come from, the sending partner there, they only nominate students who have IELTS, for example.
Yes.
So in this case, they have to have IELTS, even though we don't require it, but the sending partner does.
Yes, because of the first step being the nomination,
Yeah.
they need to check the sending partner's criteria as well in each of these required documents, yes.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. The sending partner needs to base their nomination on something, so it makes sense that they might have some requirements for that. Now, we talked a bit about the language certificate, the high school documents that the student needs to have, the passport. Those are obviously required documents. What else? What else would they need to upload? So high school diploma, language certificate or proof of language proficiency, high school transcript.
And there's one extra document which is only required for students who are nominated for the scholarship. It is called a medical certificate. It's compulsory to be uploaded by 15th of April. And all of the applicants who are nominated will receive like a special document that they need to bring to their general practitioner or local doctor to be filled out. So that's another compulsory document.
But only once you've been nominated.
Yes, so you don't need to do that in advance. And for other levels of education, for master applicants, we require a bachelor's degree. For PhD students, we require a master's degree. And for PhD students, we also need a supervisor statement.
What is that?
So PhD students need to contact in advance professors from the university who are members of doctoral schools and announce topics for those doctoral schools. If you contact the university by email mentioning that you will need to find a supervisor, we are going to help you with that on how to find the right person and who to contact for this statement of supervisor.
And also the student, I guess they need to provide some type of letter, a motivation letter to declare why they would like to get the scholarship, why they would be suitable for this scholarship, right?
Yes, that's integrated on the application site itself, so they need to provide like a short motivation letter. That's really useful because all of the students need to participate at least in an entrance interview. And during this interview, the professor who is doing the interview might ask questions based on this motivation letter. So it's really important that it's like personal. It should be about the student so that we can ask questions about this motivation letter.
And what happens if, because we told about the fact that you can choose up to 2 programs or 2 institutions for your scholarship application. And what happens if you choose 2 programs that are not really related to each other? Like you choose medicine and then for a backup you choose business because you're interested in both. You don't know yet which one would work out. How do you write the motivation letter then? Like, do you focus on, or do you write 2 motivation letters? How would that work?
It's possible to write 2 motivation letters, but if it's really a personal thing, you can find things that are common in the 2 programs that are important for your point of view.
Or just, or your motivation for both. All right.
One thing that we didn't mention, that this application period has a strict deadline. The application opens up on the 15th of November. It's possible to submit the application until the 15th of January, 2 p.m.
2024?
2024. So you have
2 months.
2 months to submit your application, but don't leave it for the last minute, because if there's any kind of IT problem or anything like that, then in the last minute we don't have time to help you with that.
Yeah, and it's a strict deadline, like, I just missed it by 2 hours. It doesn't work. You had 2 months, you have to upload it by then, which obviously makes sense. And then if you've uploaded a declaration for some of the missing documents that you were unable to get during this time, then you would still have time to upload those until the 1st of August, right?
Yes.
2024. So if you're, once again, if you're a high school student, you don't have your final certificate, or if you don't have your passport yet, just upload the declaration in place of the document that's missing, stating that you will later on provide the document, and that works. Not for all documents, but for certain documents like your passport, your language certificate, and your final diploma. Once again, which website is the one that the student should use to apply? Because some of them, they ask, do I apply on the university's website? I always tell them no. They have a specific website for that.
There's a specific website. It's called apply.stipendiumhungaricum.hu, and they need to create their own profile there and submit certain personal information that will, if they get the scholarship, will later be used as their official personal information at the university's database as well. So they need to really make sure that the information they provide is correct.
Yeah. So don't use your nickname in the application, but your full name. That would be in your passport or your national ID.
Yes, definitely.
And the email address. We sometimes have trouble with the email address of the student, because sometimes they would provide an email address that's connected to their high school or provided by their high school, and then once they've graduated high school, they don't have access to that email address, or it's sometimes their parents' email address or a friend's, and that doesn't really work because we will have to contact them with through an actual existing email address that they can easily access.
Yes, this email address is really important because we will send all of the important information about joining the university to this email address that they provide in the beginning.
So what kind of emails would they receive from us or from Tempus once they've applied? I guess they would have confirmation that they have submitted their application.
Yes, they receive, first they receive a confirmation that they created their profile. And it's really important that they click the submit button by 15th of January, 2 p.m. Hungarian time. They receive a confirmation about that as well. And then the next email that they might receive is if they are nominated or not. And after that, we send lots of useful information. We send the times for the entrance exam, and they receive their visa support documents to this email address as well.
And then some newsletters as well to help them settle in when they come to Hungary, or to help them prepare for their trip to Hungary, visa stuff as well. So yeah, I guess it's really important also to say that they should check their spam folder, because sometimes if it's a mass email or if it's sent by like a system email, sometimes it goes to their spam and they will miss important information. So I know that it's a long time. You start your application in November, and then you will arrive only in August, September the next year. So it's a long time where you would constantly need to be checking your email account. But yeah, students should do that essentially, just to make sure that they don't miss important information. Because also we didn't mention that they would need to accept the scholarship, and they get an email for that as well. Like, once they have been nominated, they have been accepted by the university and chosen by Tempus and awarded the scholarship, they have a certain amount of time to actually accept the scholarship. Otherwise,
yes, they have 2 weeks
valid.
to accept the scholarship offer. Yeah.
Yeah, so especially then, it's very important to not miss an email, because that could mean that you miss out on the chance to come study in Hungary. There are still some things that we didn't cover, I think. Some of the students who would like to apply, they are actually already in a certain program. We talked about students who are already in Debrecen studying in one of our programs. We talked about the fact that they can apply for the scholarship if it's included, if this program is included for them from their home country. So it's checked. But what if they actually study in another country outside of Hungary, and they are enrolled in a university program, and they would like to apply as transfer students? Is that possible?
It is possible. For this scholarship, there's not a specific thing you need to do in advance about this. You need to apply as a freshman. Everybody needs to apply as a new student. But after they win the scholarship in the summer, they need to provide certain further documentation, and then our credit transfer committee can check how much of the previously done credit hours they can accept in this new program. Each of the courses that they took need to be 75% the same as what we teach in the University of Debrecen. So it's not guaranteed that if you're a third-year student at your uni, you will continue as a fourth-year student at our university. We cannot say that in advance. We need to check what you did before, and then we can see how you can proceed with the program that you chose.
But essentially, you always apply as a freshman,
Yes.
and then later on you provide these credit transfer documents.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I see. And then we always have, each year during the application process, we always have students asking exactly what's covered in the scholarship and whether their trip to Hungary will be covered just because they won the scholarship. Could we talk about that a bit, the financial aspects of the scholarship?
Yeah, so what's covered is the tuition fee for the entire duration of the program. There are some requirements for the students, but we will inform students about that, and it makes much more sense when they are students to know what they need to be aware of. So let's say full tuition fee. After that, they receive full medical insurance in Hungary for free, the same type of insurance that Hungarians have when they work or when they are students. So it's a really good comprehensive insurance that they receive. They also get a monthly pocket money. It's not a living wage that the Hungarian government provides for them. It's really just pocket money.
Like some contribution to your expenses,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. But it's not enough for getting by each month. It's not fully enough for rent either. So it's either rent contribution or free dormitory and pocket money, what they receive.
So basically, it's a full scholarship because you don't have to pay for your tuition, but then again, it won't cover all of your costs. So the student has to make sure that they have some other source of income or some other financial help during their studies, essentially.
Definitely, this is not a scholarship based on social status. It's not for students in need, so to say. It's an excellent scholarship. Its aim is to teach students who would be ambassadors of Hungary in their own country. So it doesn't provide like a living wage for the students. They need to find, yes, other income. And the travel costs are not included. So
What about the visa?
The visa and the residence permit are free for students of the scholarship. Travel costs are not covered by the scholarship itself, but some sending partners are paying for their own students' airplane tickets, for example. So it's worth to ask the sending partner authority or ministry if they can help with the travel costs to Hungary.
And around how much money do you think the average student needs for living expenses for a year in Hungary? Just to get a general idea of how much money they would need outside of their studies, obviously, just to live in Hungary.
Per year, I would say 5,000 US dollars ish. Besides the scholarship amount is going to be enough.
Yeah, so even though a student wins the scholarship and has free tuition, free healthcare, some contribution to their living expenses, they would still need to take into account that they would need around 5,000 US dollars per year to actually live comfortably in Hungary.
Yes.
So that's definitely something to consider when you're applying for the scholarship. Which programs are included in the scholarship? Because the University of Debrecen obviously has almost 100 study programs available in English. Which students can choose which programs?
So each student has a sending partner, as we already discussed, and the lists of programs available for each student are listed on the partner section of the Stipendium Hungaricum.hu website. So if you look for your passport nationality country, then it will show you which programs you can choose on the bachelor, master, PhD level. It's different for each country. So
just because the University of Debrecen offers, I don't know, masters in law, it's not guaranteed that from your country you can apply.
That's correct, yes.
So with the scholarship.
So the responsible authority, the sending partner, decides which programs should be included in the scholarship for their nationals.
Okay,
That's
so
the idea.
Basically before applying or before filling out the application form, the first step is to check your country. Where do you check that?
There's a special website called stipendiumhungaricum.hu, and there's a part in that called partners, and there you can see like a list of countries. You can choose your own passport nationality, and it will show the available programs and the sending partner's contact information.
All right, so basically you will have to see, say you're from Brazil, whether medicine is included for you or whether business is included for you. And if it is, with the scholarship, then you can start your application and you can notify your sending partner as well. So it's a bit complicated because you always have to see which programs are there, which study level actually, because for some countries it's only masters, some countries it's only bachelors, for some it's only PhD. So it's hard to keep up with it because there are so many countries included in the scholarship now. Now, there are some questions that always come up during the application process. When students are filling out their application form, they always ask us certain questions. And I wanted to quickly go through some of them, such as like a troubleshooting for their application, because these are really frequently asked. So one of them would be, you're still waiting for your language exam or your exam result. What do you do in that case? So you cannot upload your language exam certificate right now at the time of application.
That's perfectly okay. Students need to submit a declaration about that. There's no specific template for this declaration. There's no compulsory format. What this declaration should include is your name, the document that you do not have yet, and you should sign it saying that by the 1st of August you will be able to upload it. That should be the contents of this declaration document, and then it's fine if you upload it a bit later.
So basically the same goes for your passport and your final document from your high school or your bachelor's or master's program, depending on which study program you chose.
Yes, the difference is that when you don't have your passport yet, besides the declaration, we kindly ask students to upload their national IDs so that we have some kind of an official document with their picture on it, so that when we do the entrance examination, we can identify them based on something.
Oh, because all of the entrance exams and interviews are proctored, so you would check it beforehand whether that's the actual person taking the entrance exam. It makes sense. Okay. What happens if you don't have a medical certificate?
That's okay if at the time of application students don't have it yet, but there's a very strict deadline for the medical certificate as well. By 15th of April, it needs to be submitted to the relevant task section of the application website.
And what should it look like?
There's a specific template for that. Only nominated students need to upload this medical certificate, and they will receive the template and the required information from Tempus Public Foundation.
Now, this is a very specific question, but if a student has all of their documents originally in English, which option should they choose in the document section? Because the options are pretty limited. Actually, I have uploaded the original, I have uploaded the English, I have uploaded both the original and the translated version to English or to Hungarian. But if it's already originally in English, which option should they choose?
When you check the application website, it has like a task section where you can upload your documents, and it has some notifications for you when you are not uploading something in a correct way or something is still missing. And when it comes to these documents, the website considers your original document to be in any language other than English or Hungarian. So even if the original document is in English, you should choose, I have uploaded the original and the translation.
Because obviously we can only accept it if it's originally in English or translated to English or Hungarian, but obviously it's easier to have it translated officially to English than to Hungarian. But if it's in any other language like French, then the student has to go and get them officially translated.
Yes.
And stamped with like the
translators. By a sworn translator. Yeah.
So if it's in any, even if we speak the language, because some colleagues speak Spanish, some colleagues speak French. Even if we can understand the document, we cannot accept it, obviously, if it's not in English or translated to English. Now, off to the next question. In case you cannot reach your sending partner, what do you do?
You can contact Tempus Public Foundation. They have like a help desk email address on their website, because the university is in contact with Tempus Foundation and the applicants. We do not have any contact with these sending partners as a university. It's not our job to be in contact with them. So we don't have their like direct contact information or anything like that, and we are not involved at all in the nomination process. So it
makes no sense to be writing to us saying, oh, I couldn't contact the sending partner, because there's nothing we can do. It's always Tempus who can be contacted if it's really urgent in that case. Yeah, one final question in the troubleshooting part would be, what happens if you just physically cannot upload a document? It's not working.
The website helps you because it mentions like what formats and what size it accepts. If it still doesn't work, then maybe you can try in another browser. You can send an email to Tempus Foundation that it's not working. And there are two ways of submitting a document to the website. One is to upload it to the task itself. That's the better option. And one is to upload it to the document section of your application. If it doesn't work, you can contact again the help desk of Tempus Public Foundation, because the application website belongs to them as well.
So in each case, when there's a problem with your application form, or there's something you cannot do in the system, or the system doesn't let you, it makes no sense to contact your chosen university, because we cannot really help you with that. once again, Tempus who can solve this problem for you. So that's why it's important that the student doesn't leave submitting the application to the last minute, because if they encounter a problem like this 2 hours before the application closes, then there's not much to be done. Let's go quickly through all of the steps from the beginning, just to summarize what we have been talking about. So the student hears about the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship. They're interested, they want to apply. How does everything start?
So they decided that they would like to join the University of Debrecen with the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship. The first step to do is submit their application online between the 15th of November and the 15th of January 2024.
2 p.m.
2
CET.
p.m. Yes. There's only one application period each year for this scholarship. So between these 2 months, they need to submit and finalize their application form for the scholarship. And they need to contact their sending partner on the Stipendium Hungaricum website's contact information to contact them for their requirements.
So once again, it's stipendiumhungaricum.hu/partners. That's where they can look up the contact information for the sending partner, as well as the list of programs that are included for them from their home country with the scholarship. Okay, they've done that. They've contacted the sending partner.
After they submitted their application, there's a quick technical check by Tempus Foundation they check if everybody is over 18, etc. And then there's the sending partner nomination process. And by the end of February, they finalize it. And at the beginning of March, the universities receive the nominated applications. So this is the first time the universities receive the applicants' documents, and this is when we start organizing the entrance exams and entrance interviews. So around March, students should really check their emails, because that's when they receive a lot of important information about their admission procedure.
How long before the entrance exam or the entrance interview should they start preparing for it? Like, if they will be contacted about it in March, April, so around that time they would take the entrance exam or do the entrance interview. How much preparation do they need in advance?
They can do the sample tests and check the topics on our website even now. I think latest by January they should start preparing for the entrance exam so that they have enough time to review everything. It will be really similar if they are final year students. They are learning many similar things for their high school leaving exam.
Okay, so then they do the entrance exam, they take part in the entrance interview. What then? What's next?
Next would be uploading the medical certificate.
15th April?
15th of April, yeah. It's important that they organize that as well so that they have all of the documents required. So they need to do it by February or March. They should start contacting doctors about the steps that they need to do to fill out this medical certificate.
And then they have their medical certificate, they've done the entrance exam, the entrance interview, they have been nominated, and it's still not July yet. What do they do?
If they have any missing documents, they should work on those. Other than that, if they are admitted and only waiting for the final result, they just need to wait for that. But around the middle of June, from that time on, they should check their emails and their spam folder regularly, because once Tempus announces the winners, they only have 2 weeks to accept the scholarship. And if they don't accept it, then they lose the opportunity for that year, and another student from the waiting list receives their scholarship.
I see. So during those 2 weeks, it's really important to actually click on the accept button. And then they have officially been awarded the scholarship. I guess they need to start working on their visa and they're arranging their trip to Hungary, right?
That's correct. So once they win the scholarship and accept it, they will receive a letter of acceptance and a letter of award. the universities and Tempus Foundation need to send these out one by one to students, so it doesn't really make sense to send an email, when will I receive it? We are working on it at that time. And once you receive these two documents, students can start the visa application. And students ideally need to arrive by Hungary latest by the beginning of September, and students of the medical, dentistry, and pharmacy department by the middle of August.
So they don't have that much time to deal with everything. It all kind of speeds up then.
Yes.
They arrive to Hungary, they have to register, obviously, and then they can start their first academic year at the University of Debrecen with a full scholarship. That sounds great. So I hope that this was a helpful conversation for those who might have had some questions still about the scholarship. Once again, if they want to apply, it's apply.stipendiumhungaricum.hu, right? So the Stipendium Hungaricum application website. They don't have to apply directly on our website, especially if they don't want to be fee-paying students in case they don't get awarded the scholarship. So this is the only website where they have to apply, and the sending partner's website in some cases if they have their own website set up for that. Let's sum up what's really important. Get nominated, prepare for the entrance exam, make sure all of your documents are in order, you have uploaded everything. If you don't have something, upload the declaration. Keep in mind all of the deadlines, right? And hope for the best.